Impossible Battle 14, and we're here with a pretty unique scenario, something that I've never really had to deal with before, or learn how to navigate. We are fighting as the Tokugawa in a siege defence with Yari Samurai as the core of our army against a horde of katana samurai. So they're going to be advancing onto us, forcing the fight in the melee, and all we really have to deal with it is Yari Samurai and some Ashigaru. This is looking really bad. There's just no recourse. You have no business winning this, really. This is perfectly countered by what we're going to have to deal with, because they're going to be coming up and fighting us on level ground, and they have so many. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 units of katana samurai, supported by experienced Yari, Bo, and Yari Ashigaru as well. And this is Yasunaga of the Hattori, of course. So we have 2 rank 4s and a rank 3. Yeah, this is dire. The balance of power here is not even close. It's way down here. This is absolutely dreadful. This is fucked. So here's what Shipper says to me. He says, "Hello Volound, I'm a relatively new subscriber of yours and I've been enjoying your Impossible Battle series a lot. Now I've run into a bit of an issue in my Tokugawa campaign. I've not really played as the Tokugawa ever, so he's started down there and he's going west towards Kyoto. He's south of Kyoto right now at Iga. Interesting. Immediately heading west. As it is right now, I'm having an issue dealing with all of their katana samurai with my non-experienced units, and I simply get overran by the enemy. I've tried to defeat them 3 times at this point, all ending in utter failure as my bows simply don't kill enough units before they climb the wall. For the battle itself, it's a defensive siege where the gates and part of the wall are destroyed. Do be aware that the enemy can take the 2 middle towers if they secure the lower plateaus. I hope you can help me overcome this great obstacle on my way to conquer Japan." So what we have is Yari Samurai in a somewhat upgraded fort. So there's 3 towers on the fort, and there are a lot of snowy peaks all around the map. So that's what's unique about this scenario. We have a lot of Yari Samurai, strangely. I would not recommend doing this again, having Yari Samurai in fort defences. It's not very conducive. Yari Samurai are manoeuvrable and for taking out cavalry, and you don't really have much opportunity to manoeuvre in a siege defence where the enemy's forcing the fight. And also we have interesting terrain around the fort, so that's what I am going to try and utilise for this one. I made a video a few months ago called Habilitating Yari Samurai, so let's see how we habilitate them in this instance. This is the ultimate test of Yari Samurai habilitation. This is the follow-up. Yep, so we have giant peaks down there, giant peaks up here, and as you can see, we have 2 levels of walls. Lower walls on the sides, and then a main shaft going up vertically. And there's trees everywhere too.
My lord, the gates are broken! The damage was not repaired! 戦を迎える今、お主らの大名であってよかったと改めて思う。いざ、上りを高く掲げ、我らの進軍を敵に知らせるのじゃ。一歩たりとも後退せんぞ。わしは最後まで戦う。お主らもきっと同じ考えであろう。服部に脅されでもしない限り、服部を褒める人間など聞いたことがない。服部しすべし。
Hattori are badasses. Love the Hattori.
ここは実にすごいよの。大屋島広しといえど、これにかなう城はないじゃろう。我が軍の力が加わらば、その凄さが増すというものじゃ。皆に名門の証見せてしんぜよう。この栄えある勝利は我らのさらなる勲章となる。
So what you're about to see is very optimized and a product of a lot of trial and error. Every unit placement is going to be deliberate, with one big exception that you'll see. I'm trying to handle all of these clusters that spawn all over the place, and I'm trying to also have one controlled, micromanaged, good fight on my terms, using combined and supporting arms down to the left here, down here. So I'm going to be fighting initially down here and using as many components as possible to achieve good fights and a good outcome, a good result, while I have units that are not fighting that are going to be used to drag and manipulate the clusters so I can pace the fight and only take good fights. It's difficult when all the enemy has to do is capture the centre, so I need to stop that from happening. I need to beat them in the fight and also stop them from capturing the fort. It's a lot to juggle, especially when they spawn all over the place. And look at this placement. I've got my Yari walls positioned, I've got my cavalry positioned with clusters in mind. I'm going to have that unit of Yari Samurai over there at that corner to drag 3 units of Katana Samurai away, because otherwise they would climb up and just absolutely ruin everything. And I'm going to have 2 units of Yari Samurai here, ready to pull up to the hill. That's what we're doing, we're falling back to the Alamo at the top of the hill. We're going to try and be the kings of the hill and drag as many units as possible over there, especially from the problematic sides. And this is how the fight shapes up here. We're going to have bows on these walls here, Yari walls facing slopes, and a general charging around trying to hit those weak spots. And if we can do that properly, we might get a really good fight with a chain route to end it against Katana Samurai. Alright, here we go. Sending the retainers up to the top. They're going to be needed to take on the fight head on and do well and break units with their good melee stats. That's the thing, they have way better melee stats than us. They've got Katana Samurai with experience, and we have vanilla Yari Samurai, green as grass. And look at this, look at all these clusters. They're all on the west and the north, and there's one cluster to the southeast as well. That's a problem. I'm going to try and bait them in with Tokugawa, faction leader, and that's really essential here. This was the last piece of the puzzle to get a good outcome finally. To finally have this scenario cracked, sending this light cavalry all the way around and dragging as many units as possible to the northwest corner. That's what we needed. And I'm actually playing quite well to the Yari Samurai's strengths at the moment, because Yari Samurai can rapid advance. So if they need a speed boost to get away, or to get somewhere faster, or to refresh their stamina just before the melee happens, I can rapid advance. And look at that fuck up, my bow Ashigaru are not on the walls. I totally fucking potatoed, and the bow Ashigaru are not going to be supporting the main fight down here. But I was determined to press on because of all my setting up, just to see how we would do if I can have the bow Ashigaru arrive late. So I'm pushing on, and I'm rapid advancing the Yari Samurai to get them away so I can focus on this intense fight down here. That Yari Samurai to the southeast corner is running away and dragging those 3 Katana Samurai to the southeast up to the massive peak, the snowy peaks to the northeast. Alright, I'm sending Hirotada, is it? I'm sending him between the gaps here, and I'm trying to avoid getting caught by their generals. They've got Yasunaga just behind a cavalry unit there. They've got 3 general units that are just looming ominously, ready to mess everything up. And look at this, I'm making it. The retainers are going to arrive first, and they're going to have a sweet position to charge down from. And I'm going to try and break that unit, that's the first one. They would have broken already if I had bow Ashigaru helping, but I was late. At least now they can arrive and turn the tide with all of their ammo. And I'm putting the general through the Yari Ashigaru while I take on another cavalry unit. And these fights here they're dragging on longer than they should because of the terrain. I've managed to guarantee a good slope for all of those Yari walls, and that's why they've only just went below half strength on one unit. But the time's ticking down, I need to make it happen now, I'm running out of time. So I'm sending that Yari Ashigaru over, I'm trying to defeat in detail, and there's Yasunaga there. If I can assassinate him,
their general has fallen! A cutting blow!
And that's it. Now they lose the morale bonus from the faction leader, and also their general just died, so now's the time to press the advantage and try and win this melee. So I'm charging at any weak spot I can see, and then I'm trying to chain it. And that's it. I just assume that I've won there so I can focus on this. I just assume that I've won. And look at how slowly they're moving up the hill. So I've pulled all that crap away, and I'm also going to have a good fight downhill onto them. And over here, this side is buckling, everything's crumbling. They've only got some bows left. They've got a bow samurai to the left there, and their last katana samurai is about to break. And to the east, they've got 3 units of katana samurai trailing my Yari samurai, and I'm dragging them up here. So I'm going to try and defeat them in detail. I'm going to be taking on each cluster one at a time. So the idea is to have these 3 units here defeated, or well, it's more than that, it's because they've got bows as well. So I'm going to defeat those units there, and then these ones will arrive afterwards, hopefully. And now I'm just mopping up here. So I did it, that was really, really good. I've managed to postpone the rest of the fight while I dismantled that entire group with finesse by just having good positioning and really decisive charges with Hirotada. And look at that, the light cavalry's arriving just in time after looping all the way around entire groups of units. So I can potentially just break that katana samurai that's fighting the Yari samurai. So I negated the high melee stats of the katana samurai and the comparatively terrible melee stats of the Yari samurai by fighting with really, really good elevation, comically, hilariously discrepant gradients there, and then having light cavalry come in to get the coup de grace. Look at that. Katana samurai wrecked on the melee. Oh man. And then I'm just chaining through them. I'm chaining through a katana samurai. Oh my god. And that was the only way to do it. And that had to be done. We had no matchlocks. We didn't have bow samurai. We didn't have our own really good melee stat units. We had to defeat them very technically with finesse. And look at that, the other 3 units of katana samurai that were dragged are still on the hook, still coming, and I'm taking the high ground on them. I'm pushing up to take the high ground again. I'm making sure I'm always fighting from elevation, but that won't be possible in a second because I'm going to be stuck in this melee, embroiled in this melee. And look at that, I had to just get that shot of those guys just running over the hill, silhouetted as they run away. Really funny. And this is nice here. I negate the charge of the katana samurai, their strongest asset, using the light cavalry, so they are now blunted, and then my Yari samurai actually do get a charge. Oh man. So they didn't get a charge, but I did, and I've got light cavalry supporting too, and they broke, and then that other unit's about to break. Oh, fucking hell. Holy shit. Even with the fuck up with the bows at the start. Oh my god. Even with the fuck up. Holy shit. Oh man. Didn't even have to fight them, holy shit man. Didn't even get inside the fort, didn't even... Oh my god. Better than I could have even conceived. Fuck me man. My god, I thought I totally sabotaged it. I thought it was just absolutely scuppered by that fuck up. Jesus. Although they arrived late and just shredded, didn't they? And tipped the balance out of nowhere. Oh man. That is absolutely brutal. That is one of the most unprecedented victories I've ever had. And that took a lot of thought, a lot of effort went into that one. So yeah, that's so good. Holy shit. Oh man. Emergent opportunities, emergent gameplay. Jesus! Yeah, that's one of my finest ever victories in terms of the technical aspects and the emergent novel gameplay. Oh man. Look at that. 200 kills with Yari Samurai against Katana Samurai. Fuck me man. That should just not be happening. Yeah, so I was really happy with that. I didn't anticipate ever pulling it off that cleanly. We kept most of the army alive against an army that was hard countering. In a situation where you don't usually have much leeway, you're basically on a timer until they take the centre. So the way I manipulated them there and drew clusters away, that reminds me a lot of when I would do speedruns of Command & Conquer and had to deal with pathfinding and routing and shit. Yeah. Hopefully that helped, and maybe you can implement some of that in your own campaigns. Especially if you have a unit of light cavalry, you can negate entire clusters. Sweet. Thanks for watching and see you next time. If you appreciate the videos and the efforts and would like to spur me on and push me forward, you can do that on my Patreon page. Special thanks to Matteo Olivetti, Nerdington, The Rody451, Halcyon, William Balangari and Robert Sparks.